Black Dragon.
Coach Myron.
Bob Eclipse Coleman.
And we are your three hosts of Think Tactical, where we talk and teach and converse about living the best life we can while being prepared in case life brings us crisis, so that we can protect our families, protect ourselves, and continue about the pursuit of freedom and happiness and all those things. We ain't messing around. We're not out here just to whistling Dixie. Leave us alone and you'll be fine. That's Think Tactical. What do you think, guys? Does that make it for us?
That works.
So we're going to do a really neat thing today. Tell you a little bit about Coach Myron. As you guys may know if you've been watching the channel, he is an Eagle Scout and also a master gunsmith, where he does building of guns, changing barrels, all this stuff. Aces8customguns.com is his website here in Atlanta. He does all the gunsmithing. That's what he does. A master gunsmith, and also he's a knife guy. I'm talking about he's got knives so sharp, if you look at them, your eyeballs are cut. And, you don't run your finger across the top of his knife. You won't have a hand left. So we brought in all of our fixed blade knives, and what we're going to do is he's going to go through the pros and cons of them as we talk about knives. And, Eclipse, the idea about knives and all that, what does that mean to you? What does having a good knife mean? What do we need a knife for in a gun world?
Oh, well, God, these are survival knives. They're basically tools for the most part. And which ones do I pick? I look to Myron for that.
So, honestly, for like the past 15 years, this guy has been telling us, go buy that knife. That's the knife we buy. So, he's going to lead this part, and we are going to talk all about these very cool knives. For us, it'll be in just a second, but for you, it'll be just like...
Okay, we have several knives here that we consider in the survival category. Now, we're not covering all knives here because we don't have everything, but we do are carrying. We're going to give you a good selection here of what knives, and from lowest cost to higher cost. And you'll see why the ones that we do have a higher cost, there's a reason for it. Okay, we're going to start down here at this end. And this is a knife that I'm sure everybody's seen, similar to the ones that were in the Rambo movies. It looks good, looks pretty. It's got a little compartment on the back.
Great for Hollywood.
Yeah, and it's my knife, the worst knife here. I'm just going to go ahead and admit it.
And it's got some matches and some fish hooks and fish line in here.
Oh, and a compass. There's a compass.
There's
in
a compass.
there.
This is
Remember
the
the
compass.
Rambo thing? You did that, right?
You did. You have a compass in here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice, but the problem is this doesn't have a full tang. The tang is the part that comes through the handle. And you'll see in some of the other knives where the blade is all one piece coming from the blade and through what they call the tang, which is where the handle is. That means it's probably not going to break there. In this case, since these are two separate pieces, the blade and the handle, if you have to use it as a chopper to chop a piece of wood or chop a branch down to start building a shelter, you could break this knife. The other thing is this is a low quality steel. Good knives are made out of good quality steel, high carbon steel like D2, W1, O1, 1095. You'll see that, and that steel is made that when it's properly heat treated, won't break, will hold an edge. You can chop things and you won't have to keep sharpening it. That's why this is not an expensive knife, and there's reasons for it.
Yeah, so one of the first criteria on our bullet list is to have a full tang in your survival knife.
Absolutely, because less chance of it breaking right where the knife and the...
So you say the first time you have to use this in a fight, or you got to twist it in a guy's ribs, or you got to use it to break a branch or cut something. That knife is two pieces,
right? And
it might not be welded together or whatever, and so that's the weak spot. That's the difference between a tang and a full tang.
Right.
A full tang is a whole complete piece of steel, right. One piece of steel that goes all the way through to the handle.
That's right, all the way through the handle right to the butt.
And what is that called? A half tang, partial tang?
No, that's just called...
piece of garbage you shouldn't buy.
Hollywood special.
No tang.
No tang.
Well, it looked good on the Rambo movies, and it was $19, so there you go.
Yeah, well, the thing that draws you in is the compass and the head and the stuff you can put
Fish
in the
hooks,
handle,
compass,
things,
sewing kit.
you got it all in one, but you lose too much paying for that. So,
All right.
Next knife we have now. This one is a full tang. This is screwed on back here, and the blade does come all the way through, which makes it a little bit better knife. It's very light. These holes in here are to make it lighter, so you can handle it better. It's kind of nice. It has the serrated edge up top here, and it's a lower quality steel. It's stainless, but it's a lower quality steel. It does have a nice grip to it.
How can you tell it's a full tang?
Because I took this off earlier, took the pommel off, and you can
it's
unscrew
basically
it.
screwed on, so
It's screwed on.
It comes all the way down. It's one piece.
And this will screw off, and the handle comes off. You can see, even though there's kind of a weak spot there with
it's
the
welded
weld.
on. That's true. That's true.
Show that again.
Yeah, this one is not exactly what we consider a full tang. The full tang would bring this entire piece down. What they've done is welded this bolt on, which gives you the illusion of a full tang, but it's actually not, because this piece of metal doesn't continue.
That's
down.
another weak spot that could break.
Yeah, we thought that was coming down. They just had a little thread.
So
in
a full tang would be that blade. Go ahead and point that out, Myron. A full tang would be that fat piece.
all the way down,
coming through.
And if it would be okay if it came down to here, and then they just had a threaded piece on the end for the pommel guard. But the fact that this is a welded on piece all the way up here is kind of
Another $20 knife.
Yes.
pretty much. Yeah, head faked us on that pommel there. Didn't it?
You want to pull up one of yours there, Bob?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is an oldie moldy here. This is I got this when I was about 16. It was a gift from my parents. This is my first survival type knife.
Diver's
It's
knife.
actually a diver's knife, but it carries some decent qualities. Although again, we're not the top level here.
No, but it's better steel than the two of these.
Okay.
Better quality steel, it's Japanese steel, and it seems like it has a full tang down to the pommel.
Thank you, sir.
And being since it's a diver's knife, it is going to have stainless steel that's going to have a higher chromium content. There's different types of stainless steel. There's magnetic stainless steel, there's non-magnetic stainless steel. The higher the chromium content, the more rust resistant the steel is, but it's not necessarily good for other things. In this case, that's a dive knife. You want it not to rust in salt water.
So compared to the last two, that's a better knife in terms of steel properties, full tang, stronger,
Right.
and probably carry you through a survival situation better than
Better than
$20 knives. Do you remember how much that knife cost 60 years ago?
Back in 1976, it was probably about $35, $40.
Which was a lot of money for a
A lot
knife.
of money in 76.
Yes, it was.
So, which one you go to next? This guy?
Yeah,
or
that
this
guy. We'll
here?
do that guy.
All right. There you go, sir.
Okay. This is another knife. This isn't an expensive knife.
Yep.
It's got some good qualities to it. Again, it goes through. The tang comes through to here. We didn't take it apart to see if it's welded
like
piece.
that one or not.
Is it full like that one or not? It's a little bit better steel. It's a heftier knife. I do like the cutting curve on it, but again, we don't know the type of steel. This was not an expensive knife.
No,
Was it?
$20.
$20. So again, you're getting what you pay for. Sometimes.
Now, what kind of knife is that? Who makes it, and where do you get it from?
Well, Bud K sells these in various different variations, themes, if you will, but it's all basically the same knife. As a matter of fact, I even bought one that has the high luminescent zombie green handle, and I use that in my as part of my gardening tools because it was so cheap. They were selling that one for like $9 on a special, and it was basically the same knife. So this was a decent knife at the time that I got it. It's not the top end though.
It's better than having nothing, but if you again, when we talk about this, if you have one tool to depend your life on, you really want to get the best you can. Okay, we're going to move over here to this Winchester knife,
$25 special at Walmart.
which it's not a bad knife. It's got, because of the rivets in here, you see that the tang is going to come into the handle here.
Right.
You can see these brass pins right here in the handle. So
Yeah, the handle's it's pinned to the blade. It's not real heavy. It's to have decent stainless steel.
yeah, it's not.
Okay.
For the size, it isn't very heavy. I mean, you think something this big would be very heavy, but it's only, what is that, about an 1/8 inch wide on the
Yeah.
back? The spine of the blade is only about an 1/8 inch wide, so.
Now that knife is kind of deceptive because you can't tell about the tang,
Right.
because in that handle the tang is hidden, although it would suggest you have a full tang by those
The pins, the brass pins.
two brass pins, but as we saw with that other knife, there's just no telling.
Could be a head fake. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take mine apart when I get home now that I've seen that one.
Yeah, and we can take a look at it. But at least the sheath is a little bit better. It's a more nylon with a liner in it, so this will hold up better than this thin nylon with rough stitching.
And that's a Winchester knife. That
Winchester. They commissioned and had somebody build it for them. Okay, next knife we have here.
Now this knife actually comes from Vietnam. It was given to me by a friend who carried it in Vietnam, but I've looked it up. It's a Chinese, kind of a Chinese still, and it was made in China.
But in here is where you can see the full tang.
All one piece. You can
All
see
one
it's
piece.
right there. The scales are just pinned to the sides.
Yep, all one piece. It's gonna.
So show the tang. Point that out.
The tang goes all the way through here,
Okay.
and you
there's
can
the
see.
pommel, and even on the grip side, you can
Yes.
see it.
It also makes it good if you need to use the pommel as a hammer. You do risk breaking your scales, your handle, but you do have something solid to hit on. And you can see where this is a much heavier knife. You can feel the weight of it. The steel's a little better. We're starting to get into a better quality of stainless steel here.
Yeah, as crazy as it sounds, if you were to break your scales off, if you have a full tang knife, you can fabricate another handle out of paracord or whatever's handy. But if you're one of these half partial no tang things, you break it off, you're done. Your knife is
Yeah, good point. If you break your scales, remember in our bug out bags, we had plenty of paracord for things like that. We'll go now. This is an inexpensive knife. It's a Glock knife. It's made by Glock.
What are they, about $25 now?
Yeah, some about $25, $30.
Yeah.
They're extremely hard steel. This thing is a real bear to sharpen. And I believe they are full tang all the way through. They have a good grip on them, nice insulated grip if you have to cut live wires for some reason. The sawback on the back of it is good for putting notches and sticks when you're making a shelter to lash things together. We're going to do a full torture test on this in a future video where we're going to put it through the ringer. We're going to test its stabbing ability, its cutting ability, and how well it holds up an edge. I said it's not an expensive knife, but this is one that I carry in my bug out bag.
Ooh, lightweight booger too.
It's lightweight, and that is some strong steel. I know because I've had a rough time sharpening that.
Oh yeah.
How much? Yeah, you said it was about $25.
$25, $30.
Yeah.
It depends on where you get it from. Good, solid.
Got polymer plastic, a good solid lock on it to keep it from falling out, and it'll fit on your belt. Let's go to
Where do you want to go?
pick one of the Gerber.
These guys?
Yeah, pick the Air Force. Yeah.
All right. There you go, sir.
This was an original World War II issue Air Force survival knife. This one I think was actually made in 1980, so they were still issuing to the Air Force. The advantage to this knife is this is very good, high quality carbon steel. It's got an edge on it. It's got a sawtooth on the back. If you notice, it has holes up front here, and the idea for that was so that you could use those holes to lash it and make a spear out of it. It comes with in the sheath. You notice the sheath is reinforced. It's not just leather stitched. It's reinforced with rivets and some sheet steel on it. In the sheath also came with it was a sharpening stone, so you could keep it sharp. The idea for this was that if you needed to cut through a fuselage to get out of your downed airplane, and also for survival. This is great. It's a perfect size. It's not too big. It's not meant to be a fighting knife. It's meant to be a survival knife. These were very high quality steel. Government did a good job when they came up with these. We have another one that this one is also the same type of survival knife, but we've got it in a Kydex sheath. I had this one, actually got this one from my cousin, gave this to me. He's retired Army, and he got it, and he lost the sheath, so I went and had a Kydex sheath made for it. And this Kydex sheath is nice because I had to make it so that I could put it in in Molly gear.
Being ornery.
It's being ornery. But the idea here is that it's used to attach it. There it is. What it does is attach. If you've seen Molly straps, they're the webbing bands in vests, and they were on my pack in the
Bug out video.
bug out bag video. And this one I made so I can attach it to my vest, so I have it. By holding it like this, I can access it with either hand. By just pulling it, it'll stay in. The Molly gear locks it in.
All right.
So you can have, there's a lot of people making Kydex. If you have a knife, that you have a nice knife that the sheath is no good anymore, find one of the Kydex holster makers and they will happily make you a knife sheath for it.
Next on the hit parade.
Next on the hit
Buddies.
parade. This is well, actually, let's go to the new Air Force survival.
Oh, you want to jump to those guys?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. This thing's got a real good retention.
This was the new survival knife given to the U.S. Air Force. It's as you get, it is a full tank construction.
Made by Gerber.
Made by Gerber, good high quality steel. It's got the serrated edge for cutting webbing, cutting rope, makes it easier. Good sharp knife. It's got this pommel on the back here was meant for helicopter crews if they had to bust out of the helicopter glass. This is also this handle is insulated to high voltage, so that if you're cutting out of your fuselage and you hit wires, you're not going to get electrocuted. This was a well thought out survival knife.
It's also got the holes in it for the spears.
We've got the holes in it to make it into a spear. The sheath comes kind of neat. There's a carbide sharpener in the sheath that you put through to keep it sharp. Just like the old Air Force survival knife that had a sharpening stone, this has a sharpening method on the sheath. This came also with different ties. It came with a belt. And you can see on Bob, there's a leg tie so that you can strap it to your leg, put it on your waist, then strap it to your leg so it doesn't go anywhere. This is an excellent high quality knife. Came in a couple different colors. I got the Coyote Brown. It came in an OD green, and I believe it came in orange too.
Yeah, where do these things run?
Now they're hard to find now because I don't think Gerber's making them anymore.
Ooh.
But when we bought them, they were running 85 bucks, which for good quality knife, that's not a bad price. Sometimes you can find them out on eBay and stuff. And Bob and I both got ours, and it's a great knife to have. When you can only have one knife, that's a very good knife to have. This other one here was a friend of mine loaned it to me to bring in here for the video.
Say that again. If you can only have one knife.
Say it again.
Yeah, I'm going to go back over here, and now.
If you can only have one knife, this is a great knife to have. This will serve you well. It's going to be hard. It's hard to break. It's full, high quality steel. This is another survival knife that was loaned to me by a friend of mine. It's an Ontario knife. This is a heavy knife. This is a very heavy knife. Again, it could be used to break out of things. It's full tang.
Well, that's got to be over a 1/4 inch spine on this thing. It is thick. I don't know if you can see that. And this is heavy. It's a good bit heavier than the Gerber. It is a heavy booger. It's got a little bit of a thing on the back here. I guess that's for your thumb.
Stuff for cutting,
Yeah.
to give you control when you're cutting with it.
Yep.
And you can see it is full tang.
Oh yeah.
The screws, it's screwed. The handle is screwed in. It's a polymer glass, so very little chance of breaking the handle. Again, this is a type of knife though. If the handle were to break, you take your paracord, you make yourself a paracord handle because the knife hasn't been compromised. And it also the sheath again is reinforced, and it's got a nice pouch in here that you could stick a sharpening stone. You could put in a fire starter, your hot spark kits. Excellent knife. It's got holes for leg tie down if you want to do that.
What's there on the back? Does this look like
That looks like it.
Molly strap,
Molly
it
straps.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
It looks like it'll weave in with the Molly strap.
That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. This is a very good high quality knife. If you could
Ontario.
find them, Ontario makes good steel. If you could find one of those, get it. Either of these two knives would be an excellent choice for you. There are also some SE makes some other good knives, high quality. If you're gonna get something, you're probably gonna spend around $100 for a good knife. So plan on it. But the thing is, again, if you can only have one, get a good quality one. It's better than that same $100. You can buy 5 of the cheaper ones, but they're not going to hold up. They're not going to serve you as well. Now you're carrying 5 instead of just one.
And if your life depends on it, that money is not going to be much good to you.
That's right. If you're going to depend your life on something, get high quality. We've covered just some basic ones here, but we gave you what to look for in a survival knife. That was our plan here, to show you a bunch of different knives and show you the good parts of them, the bad parts of them. And going from there, it gives you to make a decision. We obviously couldn't show every knife, but go look at the ratings. You should go online and see if some people have had problems with them or not. If it fits your budget, go for it. Get yourself at least one good high quality knife. You'll never regret it. And I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you're having a good time. We're having a good time doing these shows.
Comment below like always.
Give us your comments. Give us some feedback. Tell us, hey, if you've got a good survival knife, let us know. Let us know in the comments what we're doing. And if you've got something cool to show us, please do. Please give us some comments. Let us know what you think. Maybe you found another knife that we haven't covered here. We can't cover everything, but let us know. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your feedback. We're having a good time doing these, and we hope that you're having a good time watching. And don't forget, our Think Tactical, you just saw on our Think Tactical YouTube. Don't forget Spreaker. We have our Think Tactical podcasts. And
ThinkTacticalNews.com.
And ThinkTacticalNews.com, where we show you articles and give you some opinions and other things on it. And always, think tactical.